It is easier to spend and not know than to know and not spend. Why am I discussing this? Well, I've been working on my book that comes out sometime next month. Hopefully it all works out. But that is one of the things that it was, was writing about in one of the chapters, is that it's so much easier to spend and be up in the clouds than to actually have to live on purpose in regards to how we spend money. So, so many people, and I've been there myself, so I'm not judging others. I'm simply laying out a pattern of what happens in life is we spend money, and what happens? All of a sudden we have another bill that comes out of our account on an auto withdrawal basis, or maybe you actually still manually pay some of your bills, and you literally have overspent. Because you'll look at your bank account balance and it says you have $500, so you'll go out and spend money on things because you have no set budget. You have no set idea in black and white of exactly what your expenditures are based on the amount of income or cash that's in your account. So a few days after you do that, auto withdrawal happens, or you have a bill that you realize needs to be paid, and that bill is $500. Well, what happens to you then? Well, now you're living in overdraft. And so many people live that way. I've lived that way for much of my life until I learned the rules of the money game and started educating others and actually, instead of just teaching, living that same lifestyle of living a life on purpose and understanding the black and white of numbers and how we need to use that to apply to our lives. So if you had, let's say, a structured way of spending and knowing, you would never go out and spend money, and that $500 that you had in your account that you went and bought things that really were a want, they were not a need in most cases. In some cases there are a need, but in most cases, in my experience in the last 18 years of doing this and helping others, and also living more of a structured life through knowing my numbers, they'd do things differently. They'd live a life that was different, and they would literally not spend that $500 because they, in most cases, as I said, it would be they were buying a want, not a need. It would stay in that bank account, and they'd have that bill that they knew was coming up because they now know they're just not living a life of, in their heads in the clouds. They'd have that $500, and at least they'd live a life of breaking even, right? Most of us, though, don't live a life of breaking even. Many of you that are watching this have been where I've been, or are maybe currently still there. There has been circumstances, even though you have the knowledge of knowing your numbers in the black and white so you can live a life on purpose, where I still slide backwards and I end up having to spend, we'll use that example, some of that $500, but it's not because it's a want, it's because a need has come up, an emergency situation where I do need to spend some of that $500, if not all of it, and I know I'm going to slide into overdraft. I know I'm going to have to use a line of credit or a credit card to ensure that my bills are still paid. But I'm still living a life on purpose. I still see the black and white of it. So now the next month, things may be different, and I might have some freed up money. So whatever I've had to use to compensate for that $500 not being all there, or possibly 100% of it's not there, to pay that $500 auto withdrawal bill payment, I can catch up. But the only way you can live life and not live a life of quiet desperation is literally, right, know what you have. Know what's coming in. Know what needs to go out. Know your goals. Know your dreams. What are you trying to achieve? Have you always wanted to have a grand vacation? Do you know if you can save for that grand vacation? Right? Do you know that you have the ability to achieve some of the things that you want to achieve based on the black and white numbers? Have you ever had an emergency fund? How do you do that? Do you know how to actually do debt roll-up? Do you know how to get yourself out of debt? Or is the only options that you think to dig your way out of debt, to climb out of that rabbit hole, are the stupid commercials that I constantly hear on the radio, or you see them on television, or there's bulletin boards, can't even speak. There's big billboards around our city, especially with COVID and the pandemic. So many people have dug themselves huge financial holes. Prior to that, maybe it was a downturn of our energy industry or wherever you live, whatever downturn you've had maybe in your economy. People have dug themselves a big level of debt and they don't know how to get out of it. So they go to these not-for-profit companies that advertise, or these profit companies, and they help you consolidate debt. They'll help you deal with the creditors, but sadly they charge fees for that. They charge, exorbitant fees in some cases, and really at the end of the day they destroy your credit. And some people really don't need their services. All they need is a coach, somebody to teach them how to budget, learn the rules of the money game, how to do debt roll-up, things that are very simple to learn, right? Not so simple though in the sense of your mindset, because now you have to live a structured life of knowing. And most of us don't want to know. We just go out and spend, and we live more months than money more often than we should. And all it would take is a little bit of direction, focus, and support from somebody that can help them, right? Reach out to me, DM me. Right? If you're that person that wants a little bit of a push, you want some support, you want some help to get on the right track, right? You don't have to wait to find out about some of this stuff from my book. You don't have to, wait to listen to more details or more consistent podcast, or not podcast, but my videos on a daily basis. Or maybe it'll be a podcast where I'm interviewing somebody or I'm the guest on their show and you'll learn more information. Why wait? Start now. Let's get you started on the road to a mental and financial and emotional success before January 1st, so that you can hit the ground running in 2021 knowing that you're constantly climbing to a better place than you were prior. I look forward to talking to you tomorrow. I appreciate all your time. Remember, don't ever forget, I give a heck, and that's why I share this information with you. God bless. Peace out. Stay out of trouble. I look forward to talking to you tomorrow.